He's good.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the October 29th regular meeting of the Pine-Richland School Board. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Ms. Williams, please.
Mr. Lyons.
Here.
Ms. Misbach. Here. Mr. Kashani. Dr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. DiTullio.
Here.
Ms. Goebel. Here. Dr. Meyer.
Here.
Dr. Mihalik.
Here.
Mr. Moy.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we begin our meeting this evening, I'd like to take a moment to remember the victims of this weekend's violence at Tree of Life Synagogue. When events like this become too commonplace, we risk becoming numb, immune to the real impact of these events on people in our community. But we can't afford to close our eyes. As leaders, we need to ask ourselves, are we doing enough through our words, our actions, and our policies to defeat hate, support the afflicted, and ensure safe public and private spaces for all people? I say the following as an affirmation for the survivors of this tragedy and for all of us who reject these terrible acts. Hate will not conquer love. Bigotry will not prevail over tolerance. And those who appeal to the worst instincts in people will not succeed for long over those who bring out their best. Let us keep these thoughts in mind as we remember the victims, their families, and the entire community that has experienced so much suffering this weekend. Thank you. Item 1.02, recognition of visitors. If anyone would like to address the board?
Hi, how are you this evening? My name is Don Bryant. I've been in the school district since 2001. My children all have gone to school here. My daughter Danielle currently goes to school at Pine-Richland. She's a sophomore. I've met several of you previously. We've had meetings together. I just wanted to come and listen to the board meeting and also support a good friend of mine, Mr. Simmons, and just to welcome him into the Pine-Richland family. I'm very proud to say that I'm part of the Pine-Richland family because Pine-Richland's actually been a great school district for my family. And thank you for the sentiments that you said. I know it's not directed towards anyone in particular in this room, but it's directed towards everyone in the community, and I think it's very well welcome that you did that.
Thank you, sir. Item 1.03, student and staff recognition. Ms. Hathorn.
Thank you. The Pennsylvania Department of Education's Division of Federal Programs is honoring Hants Elementary School to be named a Title I Distinguished School for 2018-19. Hants received the honor because it ranks in the top 5% of Title I schools in Pennsylvania on aggregate math and English language arts scores on the Pennsylvania Systems of School Assessments. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation is naming 14 Pine-Richland High School seniors as semifinalists and commended students in its 64th annual National Merit Scholarship Program. Seniors Luke Francis, Devin Gola were named semifinalists, and seniors Emmanuel Oko, Ryan Faubacher, Jacob Gerritsen, Arjan Guglani, Jordan Labuda, Martha Lasik, Yumal Nateson, Mason Pruz, John Ryland, Parker Schubert, Lucas Zach, and Kevin Zhao were named commended students. So congratulations. Also, Senior Jackson English had a rare look into research work involving cancer. He was number one of only 65 applicants from around the country to be accepted into the UPMC Hillman Cancer Center Academy, and he was able to do an 8-week research project with a mentor. At the end of the program, scholars get to present their projects. He also sat down with us to share his story. You can see that on the Spotlight on Learning at pinerichland.org/POL. PRHS. Several Pine-Richland High School students will also delve into scientific topics throughout the Westinghouse Science Honors Institute, which consists of 12 morning lectures from September to March. Juniors Elliot Alexander, Adriana Avilo, Zachary Ferris, Tejal Gupta, Daniel Krill, Julia Martin, Alexandra Polenscu, and Benjamin Solomon were selected to attend the Institute to gain more information about engineering and science. And our own Ben Campbell is one of the guest lecturers. He will present a session entitled Adventures in Engineering, Lasers and Mechatronics. So that's going to be an interesting topic as well. So that's just one of several presentations. Also, ninth grader Andrew Nee was recognized as one of the top Young Elite Award recipients in the U.S. He ranked second out of 10 honorees, and he was highlighted at a special ceremony on October 12th at Yale University. High academics, developing leadership skills, and excelling in extracurricular activities highlighted the reasons for his acceptance into that elite group. Also, Pine-Richland High School theater classes are prepping for a performance of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. You can see that performance November 14th through the 16th at 7 p.m. The students are also teaming up with the Interact Club to raise money to be donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation in name of Team Tessa. You can see about reserving tickets by visiting pinerichland.org/fall production. Also, the International Thespian Society of Pine-Richland High School is also working on a production in late November, and they'll present Peter and the Starcatcher, and a special performance will be held for senior citizens in our community at 4 p.m. on November 29th. Also, additional performances will be held 7 p.m. on November 30th, 1 p.m. on December 1st, and also 7 p.m. on December 1st. And you can visit pinerichland.org/play in early November for tickets. Also, some sports updates. The Pine-Richland girls varsity field hockey earned a win in the Whippeal semifinals on October 23rd against North Allegheny at Peters Township. The team is also playing Peters Township at that was at Peters Township Stadium, but the team is now playing Peters Township right now in Fox Chapel, and the varsity girls volleyball team is taking on Norwin, and they're supposed to start about 7:30 right here on campus. Pine-Richland High School girls soccer team made it to the Whippeal Class 4A girls soccer quarterfinals on October 24th. They were stopped by Upper St. Clair 4-3 in overtime. The boys varsity team was also stopped by Cannon Mac in overtime 2-1 in the Whippeal finals on October 25th. Senior soccer players Brian McCarthy, Greg Shulkowskis, and Abhinav Van Takkrishnan earned WPIAL all-section status, and senior Tom Fest earned honorable mention status. Pine-Richland girls team played in the first round in the Whippeal Class 3A Girls Team Tennis Championships on October 10th. The team was stopped by Latrobe. Pine-Richland High School boys and girls cross country teams made a bid at the Whippeal Championships on the 25th, and the football Rams are earning a first round bye in the Whippeal playoffs. So that is it.
That's quite the list, Ms. Hathorn. For our prospective new hires, you know, we call that in Pine-Richland just another week in October. Thank you. Correspondence, Ms. Williams.
The following people emailed the board regarding school start times: Kathleen and Gabe Orellana, Virginia Source, and Tina Proctor.
Thank you. Item 1.05 is a motion to approve the minutes as attached for the October 15th committee and planning meeting.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.06 is a motion to approve the personnel items as attached, including the appointment of Mr. Sean Simmons as Director of Athletics and Mr. Jacob Minsinger as Pine-Richland Middle School Assistant Principal.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just want to make the public statement that I work with Sean Simmons at Robert Morris. I did not know he was applying this position. I don't think he knew I was on the board. So we were unaware until the recommendation came across the desk, and I'm happy to be voting for him tonight. So congratulations.
And just awareness to the families that all alliances to any other high school have now ceased
East. So you have to root for Pine-Richland. Just making that clear.
Unless his wife trumps him.
We actually have that in the administration already.
We do. There's some precedent.
Girls volleyball.
Any other comments? All those in favor, please say yes. Yes?
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'd just like to add a few comments. So thank you to the board and to the candidates. One of the parts of Pine-Richland that you'll see and feel is the idea of continuous improvement. No matter where we are today, we are trying to get better in all areas every day. That's exciting. It can also be tiring, but that is sort of our mission. You saw this in the interviews. Does this look familiar? So for the board, we embed our mission, vision, values into the process of interviewing. For both positions, we have a wide range of members of our staff involved. So for example, in Mr. Minziger's case, we had secretaries, we had teachers of various content areas. We do that through each of our rounds of interviewing, because not only are we looking for knowledge and skill, we're looking for people who fit the culture and expectations of the organization. So on behalf of all the administration, welcome. We're excited. Dr. Christophick's excited to have you whenever that time comes. And winter sports are almost here. So we'll be ready for you as well as soon as we can get you here. So again, congratulations. Welcome to Pine-Richland. Would you like to introduce your family?
Sure. Yes. I'd like to introduce my wife, Tawana, my daughter, Amalia, and my daughter's in 11th grade and 9th grade.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming this evening.
Good to meet you folks.
Okay, and with that, you're welcome to get out of here.
Please take advantage.
I was just told I missed my son. He's not here. He's a sophomore at UPenn.
Awesome.
When he shows up at a board meeting, we'll introduce him.
Good night.
Good night. Congratulations again.
Good night.
Congratulations. We should do that at the end so we have an audience. Still here.
It's all, wow.
Chopped liver, chopped liver.
Always here.
Okay.
All right. Item 2.01 is strategic plan and workshop update.
Yeah, so we have 3 updates, each I'll keep brief. So the board and senior leadership team did meet prior to this meeting. You see attached to this slide is a process overview. These are the steps, the iterations in strategic planning. We finished our first town hall a few weeks ago. We will have at least 2 more town halls. In each cycle through this process, we're refining the game plan for the next 4 years. So we're excited about that. And also the board has expressed consensus willingness to lift up board goals and actions connected to the strategic plan. I am unaware of a public school district that lifts up board service, governance, and expectations in such a very concrete way within the action planning of the district. So I thank the board for taking that step. The second item is mission, vision, values. It's here as a placeholder. A podcast was developed that, because our mission, vision, values are affirmed for the next 4 years, we have a voiceover of a few slides that helps to communicate that message. So we'll be adding that to an archive on the website. We will embed it in some communications to the broader community so that very simply they can click the link, they can listen to a description of what those driving mission, vision, values are and what they mean. So I use that as a segue to the third item, which is school start times. We are taking a similar approach in school start times. We have a topic that has been studied for over a year. The challenge of something like school start times, which could be discussed for hours, is being as clear in communication, consistent, accurate, and concisely getting to the issue as possible. So at this point, we have reviewed this at town halls. We've received some input. You see some of the statistics of feedback that we received either through the electronic survey or through participation in the town hall. As I shared with the board, we are not looking for majority opinion. We're looking to ground a recommendation in the following. Can we shift the start time in order to better support the health and wellness of our adolescents, older adolescents? Can we do that a little bit to help? We have one of the earliest start times even in Allegheny County. But we also know the further we move it, there are consequences and disadvantages and negative implications that affect other families. So there is a point there. We will, in a podcast that goes out, we will walk through the basis, the purpose, the rationale, the considerations, and lead towards an emerging recommendation. By doing this, we will be sure that every parent, every family, every staff member, those have a clear, accurate understanding of why is it being studied, what have we learned, what are the details and logistics, and what might it mean for your family, and then all the way leading towards an emerging recommendation. So that will be captured, and that will be communicated within the next few weeks. From a timeline perspective, we will bring this item to the board, I would say, by early winter. At some point, January, early February to latest, we would want to take action on a recommendation to either approve or not approve. We'll share our rationale for a recommendation, but we want to leave enough time from, let's say, February until the start of the year that all of those necessary details can be coordinated accurately. That includes the 40 private parochial schools that we bus to. That includes all of the structural, logistical changes that would need to happen and how we communicate it. We know that every family has a unique set of circumstances, whether it's childcare or other logistical details that has to be considered. There's a lot to this. For those that read my updates, not board updates, but community messages, staff messages, parent messages, there have been numerous opportunities to be engaged in committees and other work, and we'll capture that in the podcast. But this is one of those topics that in my career and experience, no matter how many times you share updates or information, we will come upon a day when someone will say, I didn't know we were even looking at this. And one of the ways to help ensure that a clear message is communicated is this voiceover podcast will be sent to everybody. Click the link, it'll walk through all of that history, all of that background, hopefully concisely, and that way we can at least be ensured that our families are informed fully and have the opportunity to be informed. But ultimately, it comes down to, can we make a decision that has the potential to benefit 2,300 students every day at the middle school, high school level, and still minimize the negative impacts on some at the end of the day. So that's sort of the crux of the issue in our game plan.
Thank you. Mr. DiTullio, could you do finance for us?
Okay. Item 3.01 is a motion to approve financial reports dated September 30th, 2018, and accounts payable dated October 29th, 2018, in the amounts of $584,461.66, and paid accounts for September, October in the amount of $19,719. Oh wait. Sorry.
We wish.
In the amounts listed.
Yeah, $19,719,059.26.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
My goal was to pay that at 1.6 million, just for the record. I didn't. Item 3.02 is a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $257,490 as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3.03 is a reminder of a Finance Committee meeting, possible joint meeting with Buildings and Grounds on December 10th, 2018 at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Greg. Dr. Meyer.
Just one item. Tonight, item 4.01 is a reminder an Academic Achievement Committee meeting has been scheduled November 19th, 2018 to review the 2018 Academic Achievement and Growth Report. A board meeting will not follow the committee meeting that evening.
Thank you, Greg. Mr. DiTullio, another crack at it. We brought you back down to thousands for tens of thousands, if that's helpful.
Yeah, it was a little bit on there. Item 5.01 is a motion to approve the purchase and installation of a unit ventilator for the Pine-Richland Middle School from Thermal Tech. And in the attached, and the amount is just over $20,000 for that unit ventilator.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5.02 is a motion to approve the purchase and installation of replacement compressors for rooftop units at Eaton Hall Upper Elementary School. The two quotes are just under $10,000 and one is just over $10,000, $10,470 for a total just under $20,000.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 5.03 is a motion to approve VEBH Architects for professional services at a cost not to exceed $6,840 and to advertise for bids for the varsity softball field drainage product at a future date.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Ray. Dr. Campbell, Student Services.
Okay, item 6.01 is a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the Future Business Leaders of America to travel to Hershey, PA on April 7th, 2019 and stay there through Wednesday, April 10th to complete the FBLA State Leadership Conference and Competition as described in the attached form. The cost to the district, we budgeted $10,000 for this, and there's the remaining cost of $6,000 to $11,000 will be from the students attending the event.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.02, the Germany trip. Motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the German students to travel to Berlin, Germany in November of 2019 as described in the attached form. Of course, if international events occur that raise the threat level, this motion may be rescinded.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.03, the Air Force Junior ROTC Vietnam trip in July of 2019. This is a motion to approve the student attendance and application of the Student Discipline Code for the Air Force Junior ROTC to travel to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand from July 1st to July 15th of 2019 as described in the attached field trip request form. And again, if international events occur that raise the threat level, this may be rescinded. And I should mention both trips, Germany and this one, are at zero cost to the district.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.04 is the 2018-19 Travel Instruction Services Agreement. So this is a motion to approve the 2018-2019 AIU Travel Instruction Services Letter of Agreement as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6.05 is the updated Small Games of Chance resolution for 2018-19. So this is the motion to approve our updated list of organizations that may participate in Small Games of Chance in the resolution as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ben. Mrs. Goebel, Staff Services, please.
Item 7.01, motion to approve the staff attendance and application of Lee Rickard, our choir teacher, to serve as a guest conductor for Haverford County Middle School in Bel Air, Maryland, from Thursday, January 10th through the 11th of 2019.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I can't get my computer to go forward.
Yeah. Mine's stuck too. Go back to the...
7.02, motion to approve the 2018-19 AIU Travel Instruction Service Letter of Agreement is attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Which one?
Did you just read the right one?
Oh, wait.
We're on the 7.02
I don't know.
Jumpstart.
Was that wrong way? Mine isn't moving either.
We're all locked up.
Yeah.
You can't
If
move
you go-
forward.
Here we go.
Where's Sean?
Oh, I was still on that one too.
If you actually go to
All
your
right.
drive, there's a PDF loaded on there.
You can use that.
Oh, okay, I'll just use this. Okay. So,
Just keep
let's
You want to go back to
see.
7.02?
Yeah, sorry.
But I did read that correctly already, but,
Mine unlocked.
Here it is. Yeah, it's right here.
okay.
Hit a refresh.
Oh, I see, 7.01. Oh, we skipped over that, right?
No,
We
we
did
took that out of order.
702. Or you're on
That was the
702.
personnel item. we looked at.
Jumpstart that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we already did 7.02, but you want to do
Sorry,
it
right,
again?
the
Okay.
Jumpstart Conference.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
7.03, motion to approve the staff attendance and application of Courtney Crock Love, business teacher, to attend the 2018 Jumpstart National Education Conference for Personal Finance.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
7.04 is a public item for discussion. Motion to approve the staff attendance and application of Jean Whalen, Director of College and Career Counseling, to participate in counselor information sessions at the University of Akron in Akron, Ohio, from Thursday, November 15th through Friday, the 16th of November, and the details related to this experience are attached. The
Second.
cost to,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the cost to the district is $65, and all other costs will be paid by the University of Akron.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, 7.05, motion to approve the first reading of the 2,000 pupils batch and miscellaneous policies as listed and attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
We could briefly describe some revisions that were made based on input at last meeting. Dr. Silva, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. So looking at policy 210, the medications, we took to heart the discussion that we had around who's a direct participant and what cases that would be applicable. So we did add a definition of direct participant, saying that any student engaged directly in a school-sponsored activity, such as an athletic player, students attending a dance, students participating in a field trip, but not students who are attending an event as a spectator under the supervision of a parent would be who we're speaking of here in this case. And in consultation with Dr. Mantella, our school physician, we had talked about the carve-outs around some potential things like cough drops, et cetera. So what we decided, and this has been added under the authority section, students can carry items for their own treatment that are non-medicated, FDA approved, and have a topical method of delivery. So lip balm, lotion, things like that are sort of common sense items. The only carve out that would exist for the cough drops, non-medicated only, which are an oral delivery method. So that is the only item we're calling out somewhat as separate from that. That would not require, a prescription or anything like that, and a child could have it on their person without being in violation of this policy. So we did incorporate that both into the medications as well as utilizing the same language under the controlled substances policy 227, so that they point back to one another, and we will further detail in the AR other items that may fall under that carve out. So we were hoping that that would address some of the questions that we had last time, open for discussion if there's any points.
Did we not talk about like ibuprofen and things like that?
That is something that we do need to have a script for, since it is a, yeah.
Okay.
Clear, bright line, no, it must follow the regular policy.
And then Also, on that same line, under student wellness, which was policy 246, we discussed having a broader definition of student wellness. So we have included under the purpose, student wellness includes physical, mental, and social emotional health. And then to go along and reinforce that even further, under the physical education section, we then pointed back towards our philosophy for the physical education department, where we're talking about those habits of mind and body that support holistic wellness. So we felt that that would address the overarching sentiments that were made last time. Again, open for discussion if you have further insights.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we did also change policy 234.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, and these are just the ones we carved up because there was a tremendous amount of work that went into, revisions, bringing things up to date, reviewing PSBA recommendations, and then adding administrative input all along. So, all these policies have had our eyes on them as the end product. But I know a lot of work went into, the dozens that are listed here. So, it's our first reading, but I wanted to mark that by thanking the administration for doing this task. So, this is our first reading. Do I have a second? A second to the motion, not a second reading. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, on to, now my computer is working. So 7.05, this is just a reminder, there'll be a staff service committee meeting scheduled for November 12th, beginning at 6 p.m. to discuss leadership development. And item 7.06 is a discussion item. Administration would like to discuss the scheduled staff service committee meeting to discuss and review poll policies. And so does someone want to speak to that, or any need to, or? Okay.
Well,
So we're just looking for a date.
Yeah, okay.
And that's a fair amount of, when we pull from the batch for discussion, it takes some time to discuss. So this is likely going to be more than one meeting in order to work through this. So we can maybe group, start with one and see how far we get, if that works. I do not believe that we have any, Barb, correct me, we do not have any open spots prior to meetings in 2018. We would beginning in January. It's just really a question of pacing for the board. If we want to wait, actually, we haven't approved our January meetings yet, have we?
Technically, no.
So,
Did review.
but if we want to put it in that first January meeting at 6 o'clock, we could do that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Does
That'll
that sound good? Okay. So it'll be 6 o'clock on the night of the first meeting in January.
Okay.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Mr. Moy.
Yep. Item 8.01, approval of managed print services agreement. Motion to approve a managed print service agreement with ComDoc for 66-month term as per the attached agreement.
Second.
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8.02, purchase of end-user devices. Motion to approve the purchase of 50 replacement computers for use at Pine-Richland High School and Pine-Richland Middle School for a cost of $69,202 as attached.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And item 8.03 is informational. 2019 and 2020 academic calendar for board consideration at the combined November meeting. There will be a motion to approve the 2019-2020 academic calendar as attached.
Thank you, Matt. Is there any comments on the calendar?
One question. With the stadium being used as a polling place, have we ever considered having no school on that day to make it less hectic? Because I know some schools that are using polling places will take that as an in-service day or a holiday.
It has come up. So I would say a presidential election is really the time period when we would notice that traffic more significantly. In the upcoming election, when is that, next week, Dr. Pasquinelli met with Dr. Christophic, Mrs. Bowman, our safety and security coordinators. They have put a plan in place to communicate and then to help manage visitors. There is a separation there, obviously, between our school buildings and the stadium area where the voting happens. We have not gone so far as looking to alter our schedule as a result of that, creating a Tuesday in-service in a given week. We're open to
schools that do cancel school or because they have it in the same building.
Where there are students.
Yeah.
Or multiple buildings within a district. So it is something that we think about. It is something that we plan for. It's not ideal. We do encourage people to try to avoid the heavy times of arrival and dismissal, but most people who want to vote maybe want to vote on their way to work or something like that, and so a conflict is sometimes inevitable. But there have not been, I would say, significant issues. There are some chit-chat that happens from time to time between someone coming to vote and a student who might be moving from the parking lot into the building. So I think it's managed as effectively as it can be managed.
Well, the last presidential election obviously was busy.
Yeah.
We do, like Dr. Miller said, have some additional supports in place for this coming election cycle. And that communication's going out this Wednesday, and a follow-up will go out the following Monday. So just to give the community additional heads up.
So if there are news cameras, they are permitted to cover the election. They're not allowed in the polling place, and they're not allowed to point towards our schools. So we do communicate that. But if they want to point towards the opening where people walk up, have at it. So that's the way we manage the press. I just have one point to make if there are no questions then. Just because it's worth it. Last year we did something called Suggestion Box 2.0. We asked staff members to provide any ideas on ways that we can enhance or refine what we're doing. We had a paraprofessional at the high school suggest the addition of some holidays for no reason other than to make it easier to make up days without dropping in service. So this year in our calendar we have one. In the proposed calendar you see here we have 2 days. Those are days that exist so that in the event we need to use them, we can use them without causing a whole lot of ripple effect. So great idea from a paraprofessional at our high school, and I feel like as long as we're doing that, I'll probably take 1 minute to thank her for her input because it's a nice improvement.
Great. Thank you. Item 9.01 is the second reading of Policy 006, meetings.
What, second?
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Your motion.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.02 is just a review the strategic plan workshop. Dr. Miller encapsulated, and obviously you were all here, so thank you very much for giving your time this evening. I'll just issue a sort of reminder and thanks. As Dr. Miller said, the willingness to put our goals out there, align ourselves with the strategic plan, and hold ourselves accountable in a very public way is certainly a very positive sign. And one necessary for a high-functioning organization like ours. So I look forward over the coming weeks and months as we refine the board's participation in that process and what elements we're going to own uniquely in the strategic plan. And I encourage you to reach out to myself, to Christine, or to Ms. Williams to communicate ideas you have that we may not have mentioned, or to develop further some of the ideas we talked about for board goal setting aligned with the strategic plan. Hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll also have the opportunity to have a conversation about board leadership and get your reflections and think about the board self-evaluation cycle. That's all I had there. Item 10.01, reports. I have none. Christine?
Right. So I did receive from Beatty, they are going to have a holiday craft show November 10th from 10 to 4 p.m. it will be unique gift items, crafts that are made by the students. And so it'd be nice to support Beatty Career and Technical Center.
Thank you. Any other updates or reports? Please.
I just want to thank again the board and administration for the opportunity to go to the Pennsylvania State School Leadership Conference. I learned a great deal. I know Peter, Christine, and I talked a lot and learned a lot. I'm working on a report. Just happens to fall at a busy time for me right now, so I'll have it for next.
And we do have some, we're trying to not overwhelm board members as well, so
Yeah.
and we knew we had a pretty heavy
Right.
week, so.
Yeah, there were some great educational sessions. I'm not going into detail, but on leadership and on like curriculum open resources. There was school safety and security, suicide prevention. There was just a multitude, but it was really high quality. I thought for the educational sessions that I attended, as well as the keynote speaker and other speakers that were there, it was really, really good. And it was nice to network within the educational sessions, but then outside of those with other school directors and superintendents. So it was quite valuable. And so there are reports and there's lots of information, but again, it just didn't want to inundate everybody. But you'll get to see all the information or parts thereof.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our second recognition of visitors. Seeing how there's none, we'll move to adjourn the meeting. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.